Well, hello everyone. Today's Wednesday. Believe it or not, it's actually Wednesday and I'm not missing it. However, I am getting a late start. I had some orders to take care of first. So, we survived the storm. In my area, we didn't get a whole lot of wind damage. I totally expected to have all kinds of branches and what have you just scattered all over the place and a huge mess to clean up. But we got very fortunate with that. We were able to keep our power on. I didn't lose my internet. The only issue that we had was there was so much rain and the ground is so saturated. And when you live in a rural area, you are not fortunate enough to have city plumbing and sewage. So our drain fields, we have two, were flooded, saturated. So we have a couple of days with plumbing issues. But if that's the worst thing that happened, I can deal. I can totally deal. I did manage to get a few things done. Before I show you my plushies, I want to show you something else. Tony at TL Yarn Crafts, she just recently did and released a pattern for one of those granny hexagon sweaters. And I've been seeing them around for a couple years now, and I've been wanting to make one. But the tutorials that I have come across don't really explain it very well. Tony has a great video that goes along with her pattern, which you can either get paid or for free. To get the free one, you sign up for an email list. She has the link in that video. But in her video, she has wonderful explanation on how to measure the different parts of your body that you need to measure to make your sweater fit you instead of playing a guessing game. So I got started and I have a lot of rounds done and I'm not even finished with one sleeve yet. So I have this gorgeous yarn that I bought that I think it was on clearance. I'm not sure, I don't remember. But I've had it for a little while and I have like 12 skeins of it, I think, and each skein is like 300 yards. Well, I've used up one skein and I have this much done of a sleeve. Look how pretty that yarn is. It is bamboo pop. 50% bamboo, 50% cotton. So this is what I have left of the one skein. And I have quite a few more inches to do. So I have already done 17 rounds. Now, if I would have used a bigger yarn and a bigger hook, I'd probably already be on the second sleeve. But I've done 17 rounds already, and 2 rounds is an inch. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, I still need about 4 more inches for the first sleeve. And each round, of course, takes longer and longer to do and uses more and more yarn. So this will be interesting to see how many of those skeins, because it's a DK and I'm using my 4mm and it has nice drape to it. But I didn't get to work on it yesterday. I might get to work on it today. I'm trying to, like, I haven't even made any plushies today because of my button orders. But what I'm trying to do is make the plushies that I want to do for the day and then throw on a movie or something and work on this. Because this I can do pretty much without having to pay attention. Like, there's not a lot of counting. You get the first couple rounds done and then you just go to town. So I don't know. I just want to make something that I can wear. And of course, the bigger you are, the more stitches it takes. So that, I cannot wait to get working back on that again. All right, so I said I wasn't going to spend any more money for a while on patterns. So I was on the hunt. I want to make a wiener dog, Dachshund, I don't know how to pronounce it, but a wiener dog, you know, the long skinny hot dog dogs. So I was searching for a free pattern, and I know that Rose and Lily has one, but it's huge. And I saw Zach, I think his name is, made one. And he was showing it on his channel, and it's really big. And I didn't want to do something that big. I wanted something smaller. So I'm Googling it, and I'm, you know, trying to find something. Well, I came across one, and I thought, okay, it's kind of cute. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but I'll give it a try. And I found it on the website amigurumi.com. Most of their patterns that I've noticed, most of them are made for like really thin yarns and a small hook. So when I look at their patterns and I decide I want to do one, I sit there and like count the rounds on like the head or the body or whatever. And I can tell pretty much if it's going to be giant or not. So I didn't want to go for anything that was giant. So this is the wiener dog. It had clothes. Now, it's supposed to have straps. I didn't put the straps on it. It has a hood, but the hood doesn't fit the head. But it's made the way it said to make it. It did not have a tail, but I added a tail. The thing with this pattern is it tells you how to make all the parts, but it doesn't give you much information in the way of assembly. It's just sew the head on, sew the arms on, or whatever. So you kind of have to look at their main picture and guess. You're doing a lot of guessing. I'm not sure if that is something that's intentional. I mean, because I haven't really investigated it. Like maybe if they sell a paid version and you bought a paid version, you'd get more like assembly information on it. But I had picked this one out. And when I was scrolling through, and of course I gave it the embroidered eyes because that's what I'm focusing on right now is embroidered eyes. And I've had a bunch of you guys ask, can I do a tutorial? I am not an expert at all. I'm starting to feel pretty confident with this style that I'm doing now. But I can put together one if that's what you guys want. But just keep in mind, I am no expert on it. So this little cutie here. I found one other one on there and had the same issue where it tells you how to make all the parts and doesn't give a whole lot of assembly information. So it doesn't even give you placement. You're lucky if it tells you where to put the eyes. But the picture that they had on display for this particular one, I thought was just the cutest thing. And not that I've done real well with unicorns. It took me quite a while to sell. I think it was 1 Cent Crochet's unicorn. Don't quote me on that one. But I'd made 2, and I only sold 1. One of them I made using the Hobby Lobby. They're white, and it looked weird compared to the Parfait Chunky. So the one that sold was the Parfait Chunky. But it took quite a while and quite a few markets. A very emotional little girl that couldn't understand why she couldn't have 2 toys when her brother was getting 2 toys, but they each had $20 to spend, and her unicorn was $20, and then she wanted a $15 turtle to go along with her $20 unicorn, where the brother picked a $15 turtle and then like a little $5 mini octopus. So yeah, it was very dramatic, very traumatizing. And I can't remember if she got that or if she got the turtle now. But we had to go through all of that before that unicorn ever sold. So they had this little unicorn with no information. And again, it's amigurumi.com. This one was actually shown in the pictures with the plushie yarn. So I felt fairly okay with doing it. Although when I was looking over the pattern before I started, I didn't realize that the instructions just weren't there. So it called for the tutu, but I went ahead and changed the body color to make it look like a full dress instead of just a ruffle around the bottom. The only thing I would recommend is before you do the ruffle, change your color first and then have your next row be the back loop only, so the front loops are there so that that doesn't show through. That would be my only suggestion on that. And I know better than that. I just wasn't thinking. So they did not explain whatsoever how to do the mane. It did not say that it had a tail. So it was this one that had no tail. This one did come with a tail. This is the one I had to add a tail to it. And I just did the increases to give it a curly tail. And since they had wild shaggy hair like this in their picture, I did wild shaggy hair. So I have this unicorn. This is also another one that I am not sure if I would do it again. It took, for what it is, with the hair and everything, and plus I wasn't super motivated when I was making it, but it took quite a while for me to do this. And I'm sure that motivation was a big, big, big part of it. But they are pretty. They are really pretty. And you could do it without a dress. You could just let it have an all white body and pick whatever colors you want. But I did purple because purple seems to sell well. We'll see. And embroidered eyes. So again, just about everything that I've been working on the last couple of days. I'm looking around. I left my drink in the other room. The last week, almost everything has had embroidered eyes because I had nothing and I need to have some. I need it so that hopefully, since, you know, Florida is like God's waiting room, that some of these grandmas and grandpas will be buying stuff for their little grandkids and they'll be worried about eyes. So we're doing embroidered eyes so they don't have to worry about it. So still on the hunt for a little wiener dog. I came across one that Toy Story Patterns AU, I believe it is. They had a little wiener dog. What I didn't realize, because I didn't read the whole title, is it was for a keychain. We were talking about the little wiener dogs. Right. Toy Story Patterns. And I didn't realize that it was a keychain pattern. So when I start to make it, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be really small. But they had it like really, really long. So I left out some rounds to make it smaller. Now I should have used teddy bear, but I used chocolate, and I don't know. I don't know if I like this or not. So this is the little, and of course I tried to do the embroidered eyes, but the little wiener dog. And I left off probably 7 rounds. I mean, it was like supposed to be like this long, and okay, no, thank you. But fortunately, these are not expensive because they're always running a sale. But this was definitely a boo-boo purchase. So maybe if I do the mystery boxes, this will end up in a mystery box. Maybe. So that was that. And then I broke my rule. I bought a pattern. But it wasn't a wiener dog. But it is for a dog. So everybody has loaf cats. And I've said it before, I don't see the appeal, and I know it's not about what I like, it's about what the customers like. But it has to at least be fun to make. So I searched Etsy, and so I knew I had seen one on Instagram, but I could not find it again to know who the designer was. And the particular one that I saw had more of a face to it than the lady with the super popular loaf cat pattern, Annie something or other. I'm awful with names. I am so sorry, forgive me. So I was looking on Etsy and I found what I was looking for. So I bought it. Now I shouldn't tell you this, but a little trick with Etsy, if you don't already know, is when you see a pattern that you like, mark it as favorite and add it to your cart and then go away. Wait a little while, a couple hours maybe, and see if they send you a discount coupon. A lot of sellers use that to get you to come back and make the purchase. And on some of the more expensive patterns, I will test the waters with that, because if I can get the price to come down a little bit, it might make me take the leap for the pattern. Sometimes it's not enough to make it worth it for me, and I have to wait till they're running a really good sale. But that's just a little tip. Don't tell anybody I told you. But anyhow, so I bought this pattern, and it's from Passionate Crafter. Now, what I liked about it, like I said, was it had more of a snout. It's not like flat face. It doesn't look like it got hit by a semi. It has some features to it. So I did my first one, and I wanted to make it look like, you know, a Doberman or Rottweiler. And I've done it with before with one of these other little freebie dog patterns. I keep grabbing the wrong color. Don't use chocolate. You need the, I think it's espresso and not chocolate. Chocolate with teddy bear makes it look like bear colors. You have to have chocolate. So forgive this one with the color. This one is chocolate and teddy bear. And it's very cute. I mean, see how it's got some shape to the face. Embroidered nose. I embroidered the eyes. It does say to use safety eyes, but I embroidered the eyes. It is basically no-sew, except for the tail. Now, I'm going to assume it's because I am yarn under. But my things didn't land where the pattern says they should have landed. Like, it tells you when you get to a certain round to put a stitch marker and stitch number such and such, and the next one in stitch number such and such. This is where your eyes are supposed to go. Then you do a few more rounds and it tells you to put a stitch marker, and it has something to do with the ears. Well, mine would have been an eye on the side of the head, an eye up in the middle. The ear would have been like really low. So I'm sure it is me. So I just had to like play with it a little bit. After I make, you know, half a dozen or so, I'll have it down to where my adjustments need to be. So he was supposed to be like a Doberman or I can talk. Rottweiler colors. And I grabbed chocolate again instead of espresso. So but I think he's very cute. So I'd set it aside, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I want to make another one. So I was going to go for, there's 3 different Dalmatian, Corgi, and whatever. 2 different style ears. And so I tried, on this one, I tried doing the other style ears with the, like Corgi face. And you can see, I'm holding it like it would be sitting flat. This section is off. I like the other ears better. This is the longer style ear, but I do like the other one better. This was fairly easy if things would have lined up right. But hey, I'm still working on it. I'm still getting it. And show me animals that have perfect markings. They don't. So I have this one. And then I called it a night for plushies and said, let me work on my hexacardy, and worked on that till I ran out of yarn. So then the next morning, while we were still blessed enough to have functioning electricity and internet, you know, the plumbing issues, yes, but when I got up yesterday, when I should have been doing my button orders, and I decided not to because I just didn't feel like it, I decided to make another dog. And I wanted to do this one Snoopy style. So I had to make up my own ears, do the ears different. And I went with the color pattern for the most part with this one. I believe that is dog number 1. Other than I didn't like change colors for the snout. I just did it for the marking on the back because, you know, Snoopy has a spot on his back. And then, well, let me just show you. So this is my Snoopy version. Made my own ears. So on this one, I had to sew on the ears and the tail. Embroidered eyes and nose. Same on this one. Eyes and nose are embroidered. Because that's what I'm concentrating on, if I haven't told you already. So I have 3 loaf dogs. So you guys, or most of you guys, are going to have a whole bunch of loaf cats, and I'm going to have loaf puppies. I just like them better because there's shape to it. It's the only reason. It's basically the same thing. It's just these have a little shape, and I like it. So there's that. So because I am wanting to mix in a bunch of embroidered eyes plushies for the market, I wanted to do some of the little octos. Well, because I'm not an eye embroidery expert, the little pattern that I was using, and I believe it was one of the free ones from All From Jade. And she has one that has curly legs, one that has little like bobble stitches for legs, and then a third one, I think it's the one that Heather uses, and I can't remember which one it is. But anyways, there wasn't a lot of surface for the head, and I need a little room to do these eyes until I get better at it. So rather than try and hunt down another pattern, because I knew I wanted to have tentacles, and you know, the basic idea of it, I just needed it to be a little bigger and have more rounds so that I had some surface space so that I had room to embroider the eyes. So I did my own thing, and I started with Parfait Chunky, and for some reason this particular color of pink everything is coming out a little smaller than some of the other colors. I mean, it's not that it's like lacking any fluff on the string, it's just not very thick. So this one was the first one that I did, and it is Parfait Chunky. So it has a few more rounds than All From Jade's, and it is more stitches. I think hers goes to 18, if I remember correctly. And I did not make my tentacles twist, but they curl up on their own. So that's what it looks like with the embroidered eyes. So this was Parfait Chunky. So I still thought, for the amount of work, because doing the embroidered eyes does take time, definitely a lot quicker to just snap in safety eyes. These take a little while, and you want to be careful so that they're neat and, you know, and look good and all that. Come here, Toby, and say hi to everybody. Come here. You haven't said hello in a long time. Come here. Don't you? Ooh. Say hello. Look. Look. Don't be so mean. Grumpy. Don't knock my phone over. Anyhow, he's grumpy. So what I was saying is I still felt like this was a little small for the amount of work that goes into it. So I decided, let me try the same steps, because I wrote it down as I went so that I can duplicate. Let me try it with Michael's. So this is the same one with the Michael's for a comparison. Much happier with this size. So then I was like, well, what would it come out to with Bernat Baby? I mean, because I gave most of my Bernat yarn away, but I still have some, and most of it is the baby. And so I had a little bit of pink, so I tried it with the Bernat Baby. Now this one, I think the legs look too thin for it. So instead of a single crochet in the leg, I might have to, if I went with this size, go up to a half double crochet or a double crochet to get the legs to come out right. But this is the size difference between the Sweet Snuggles Light and Bernat Baby. So, let's see if I can hold it. Of the three sizes, which one do you think that I went with? If you guessed the Sweet Snuggles Light, you guessed right. So I like how this size came out. It's pretty close to the size of the baby squids, but the baby squids have the little arrow thing on the top of the head, and the tentacles, of course, there's 10 instead of 8, and are longer and more twisty. So that could have, a couple dollar more price tag on it. But this could be more than $5. So I like this size, and I went ahead and made another one in blue. And I think they're just cute. I love these eyes on them. So I have 4 octos. And like I said, this one I'll have to figure out something different with the legs, because I don't think that they're thick enough if I was going to use Bernat Baby. The Sweet Snuggles Light, perfect. This was with a 6mm hook, 5mm hook, and 7mm hook. So that's what I have been up to this week, or for the last few days. And I'm sorry Toby was such a grump. He's sitting right here in front of me. Come here. Come here. Don't even look at me like you're going to bite me. So I asked for some totes for my birthday. Like, nothing special, nothing fancy. I just need some storage totes because I'm getting overrun, and either I have to stop making plushies or I need a better way to keep them contained. They're everywhere. I will be more than ready for this fall. I will definitely be more than ready for this fall. So, oh yeah, I wanted to tell you. On Monday, I think it was Monday, so I step outside just to see like what's up with the weather and everything. And right across the street, like right in front of our drive, is this beautiful deer. It is like half white and half brown. And for the longest time, we had a female deer, a doe, whatever you want to call them, that was like solid white. And I had never seen an all white deer before. This is an offspring from that white one. Hopefully nobody hit it or shot it, the mama. But this one was so cute. So I'm going to just show you this little video clip. It was just kind of standing there and it was looking at me, like checking me out. And then a car decided to come down the road and it took off running. But usually this time of year we don't see them. And then I saw it again yesterday. So 2 days in a row I've seen that little deer. I would like to know that its mama is okay. Well, anyways, enough rambling. That is what I have been up to the last few days. And I am pretty much concentrating on the embroidered eyes. I did start on another one, but it's not finished. I still need to do an arm. I had all kinds of issues with it, and it wasn't the pattern, it was all the color changes. I got lost, but I'll show you that one in the next video. Hopefully I'll have it done. I only have one arm left and then sew the 2 arms on and it's finished. But I just, like I said, haven't started anything today and it's getting late, so I need to go. And I'll see you in the next video.